Picture this. You are alive, you are healthy, strong enough to hunt, fast enough to run, sharp enough to survive another day out there. But one morning, your tribe packs up and leaves. They walk away, and they do not look back. To you right now, in the modern world, that sounds inconvenient, maybe a little sad. To an ancient human, that was something else entirely. That was a death sentence. Not because of hunger, not right away. Because being forgotten meant something much bigger, and much worse, was already in motion. Here is the strange part. For most of human history, the biggest threat to your life was not a lion. It was not a rival tribe. It was not even starvation. It was isolation. A lone human cut off from the group almost never lasted long. Not because they were weak, because they were alone. No one to watch their back while they slept. No one to share food when the hunt failed. No one to remember their name, their skills, their place in the tribe. So somewhere along the way, early humans developed something unusual. A fear that had nothing to do with claws or fangs or falling from a cliff. A fear of disappearing from other people's minds. And that fear did not fade with time. It got wired in deep enough that we still carry it today, thousands of generations later. But here is where it starts to get interesting. Being forgotten was never just about being alone in the moment. It meant losing your entire future. Ancient survival ran on memory. Who was reliable? Who shared meat after a hunt? Who helped carry the wounded back to camp? Who could be trusted when things went wrong? If the tribe forgot you, you lost access to all of that in one shot. No favors owed to you, no alliances, no safety net waiting at the other side of a bad day. You could be standing right there, alive and breathing, and still be erased from the invisible system that kept people alive. That is a strange kind of death. Being present, but invisible. Think about how unsettling that actually is. Your body still works. Your heart still beats. But in every way that matters to a tribe, you have already vanished. So early human groups built ways to prevent that from happening. Storytelling, naming ceremonies, songs about ancestors passed down around the fire. These were not just traditions for fun. They were not decoration. They were survival tools. Ways of saying, out loud, again and again, you exist, you matter, we will not forget you. Because a person who is remembered is a person who still has value to the group, and a person with value gets protected. This is where things get even stranger though, because this fear was not only about staying safe while you were alive. It stretched even further than that. It reached into death itself. Archaeologists have found ancient burial sites where the dead were laid to rest with tools, with jewelry, sometimes with food, carefully placed beside the body, as if preparing them for a journey. For a long time, this looked like simple proof that early humans believed in an afterlife, but there might be something deeper going on underneath that. What if these burials were never really about the person who had died? What if they were about the people still standing there, still watching, still very much alive? By honoring the dead with ritual and care, the tribe was sending a message to everyone present. You will be remembered too, even after you are gone, even after your body is in this ground. That promise mattered more than we might assume, because if death meant total and complete erasure, if it meant vanishing without a trace, cooperation itself would start to fall apart. Why sacrifice for the group today, if nothing about you survives tomorrow? But if death came with a guarantee of memory, people had a real reason to keep contributing, keep protecting each other, keep building trust, year after year, generation after generation. In a strange way, the fear of being forgotten made humans more generous, not less. It pushed them to build stronger bonds while they were alive, so they would not simply vanish the moment they were gone. Now here is where this fear starts to feel oddly, uncomfortably familiar, because we still carry it, every single one of us, right now, today. Think about the last time you sent a message and got no reply. Not ignored on purpose, just forgotten for a while. Buried under someone else's busy day. That small itch of discomfort you felt. That tiny flicker of worry. Did they still think about me? Did something change? That reaction is not random. That is ancient wiring, thousands of years old, firing off in a completely modern situation. We update photos. We tell stories about our lives online. We want people to remember what we did, what we said, who we are, long after the moment has passed. Not because we are vain, because somewhere deep down, being remembered word still feels like proof that we are safe. And here is the part that really lands once you see it clearly. Social media did not create this fear, it just gave it a brand new stage to perform on. Every notification, every like, every comment is a tiny signal that says, you are seen, you are not forgotten, you still count. And every silence, every unanswered message, every quiet inbox can spark that same old alarm our ancestors felt when the tribe walked away without them thousands of years ago. We are not weak for feeling this. We are ancient. That is the whole point. This fear helped humans survive ice ages, famines, and constant, ongoing threats by keeping them tightly bonded to each other when the world outside was brutal and unpredictable. It made memory itself a form of protection, a kind of armor that had nothing to do with muscle or weapons. Think about how many things in modern life are quietly built around this exact fear. Photo albums, family trees, gravestones with names carved deep enough to last for centuries. Even simple habits like wanting to be included in a group chat or wanting someone to save you a seat trace back to this same ancient root. We are not just social animals because it feels nice to be social. We are social because for most of human history, disconnection was lethal. So the next time you feel a small sting from being overlooked, or a strange, quiet comfort from being remembered, know that you are not imagining things. You are running a program that is tens of thousands of years old. One built for survival, not for modern comfort. One that once meant the literal difference between life and death. Being forgotten was never really about disappearing from memory. It was about disappearing from safety itself. From protection, from belonging, from the invisible web that kept ancient humans alive when the world gave them every reason not to be. And that fear, ancient as it is, still shapes how we love, how we connect, and how badly we want to matter to someone else. It shapes the friend who checks in for no reason at all. It shapes the family member who insists on staying in touch, even when life gets busy. It shapes the quiet relief you feel when someone remembers a small detail about you that you never expected them to hold on to. None of that is coincidence. It is the same ancient signal, still running, still doing its job, thousands of years after the fires and tribes that first created it. We are not so different from the humans who feared being left behind at camp. We just moved the campfire online.